Hi, Mrs. Bernardi here, and if you have a research project coming up, I want to show you a few things to make it a little bit easier. Through this little tutorial, we're going to be seeing some hints for how to be taking notes and then how to stay organized during your research. Before you start note-taking, you want to write down the citation as soon as you know you are going to use that book, that website, that image, whatever it is you're using as a resource. You also want to write down the call number and the location of where you found that book. You also want to assign each citation a letter, either A, B, C, etc., or 1, 2, 3, whatever works for you. For the first two pieces of information at the top here, the reason you want to write that citation down right away and write the call number down right away, it's a time saver. Um, I had a student come to the library once. He was just finishing up and ready to turn in a very big grade 5 American Revolution project. And he realized he forgot to cite one of his sources. He came to the library, went down to the stacks where he thought the book should be, and wasn't able to find it and came to me for help. In opening up our online catalog, I found that we didn't even own the book he was looking for. He remembered he had actually found it at the public library. So that was a big waste of time for him, not having written that citation down again. And again, to this bullet note number 2 here, as far as writing down that call number and that location of where you found it, that's helpful as well as that same story tells you. We know the call number is not officially a part of the citation, but it is helpful in an instance like this, especially if you need to take some notes. You think you're done, you put the book back on the shelf to return it to the library, but then you might have to find it for future information, and you don't want to have to go look up the call number on the online catalog every time. You'll have it right where you need it. So here you have an example of how your citation page would look where you have source A, source B, source C, all topics about Benjamin Franklin. And you can see at the end of the official citation is where I added my call number and the location where I actually found that source. Now here are some actual notes that we took on Ben Franklin from those sources. They are good notes. They are not complete sentences. They're bullet notes. They're short. They have keywords and phrases, and they're okay. But there might be some times when they're not that helpful. And the reason why could be, for example, this bullet note here when Ben Franklin was a delegate to the Continental Congress. Perhaps your teacher comes and says, that would be great information. Find more information on when he was a delegate to the Continental Congress. If you remember, we were working with 3 different sources. Which one had the information to the Continental Congress? Kind of hard to know if you haven't written it down and taken note. Now here are those same notes that we had, except we've now organized them when we were writing them under what source we found what information in. Source A had all of these notes, and source B is where we found these facts. So if you did need to go back to find out more information about Ben Franklin being the delegate to the Continental Congress, you know that you have to just find source B. And taking one extra second and writing down what page number you found that note on also helps you because now you save the time. You do not have to look up again in the index or the table of contents. You know to just go right straight to page 25 of source B for your information. Now, even more helpful when you're taking your notes is to try and have some subtitles for your notes. You've got your headings, your topic is Ben Franklin, but if you add some subtitles for those notes, it will become easier in the end when you're gathering all your information for your final product, whether that is a report or whether you're gathering your information to put it all on a poster. If we are continuing with our same example of Ben Franklin, some possible subheadings for him might be personal information. This would be something about when he was born, when he died, what his family situation was like, education, obviously where he went to school, how he was educated, possibly inventions that he made. Another column might be jobs that he had throughout his years. And a helpful way to keep this all in order is by using the 2-column note system, and we'll show you that. Now here's an example of using 2-column notes. Again, at the very top we have Ben Franklin, so everything on this paper is going to be about Benjamin Franklin. Source A, we have all of our notes that we found, but we've now given them some subheadings These are personal information facts. This is a job fact. When we were reading source B, we found this information, some additional personal information, some additional job information. We also found some of his inventions in this particular book. How this is helpful is when it's time, as I said, for your end product and you're gathering your information from all your different sources, and you need to now make your paragraphs, your report, or you need to put everything on posters. You can now just, when it's time to do the personal piece of your project, your information is all here, and you can even highlight it if you want to color code things, which is always, I know, a helpful thing for me. And there you have it all together to create your paragraphs. So as you can see, the lesson for today was how to stay organized to make your research easier. Hope you found some of these hints helpful for your job.